Hello fellow YouTubers, in this video I'm going to show you how to assemble the Z68 budget setup. For this setup I've chosen the Asus P8 Z68VLX motherboard, the Corsair Builder Series version 2 430 watt power supply, the i3 Intel Core i3 processor, the 2100 series. Now I know I could have gone €10 more and got 2120. This is the real budget and I want to spend as less as possible on this setup. Also, these are two Kingston 4GB in total, 2GB each modules. Again, I went with 4 gigs instead of 8 because of the budget. This is my Intel 320 series SSD that I had from the previous setup. You can see unboxing of this SSD drive and my NZXT case in other videos. I'll put a link below. These are the tools I'll be using. That's my wireless. This is only about €10–15 on Amazon and some other websites. So I'll just move away the things that I won't need for now. Now, there's no DVD or CD burner. I've actually chosen to go with the external one that I have from my netbook. Reason for that is more space in the case, less noise, and you see less power used. Plus, I don't use that too often anyway. Okay, so we'll go with a RAM unboxing first. Reason being is the motherboard unboxing is in another video as well. So there we go. It's really nice looking RAM actually. Blue colors just like on motherboard. There we go. Now this time I'm not using anti-static wristband again. I still haven't received it, unfortunately. I've grounded myself to a metal point on the radiator already. So there you go, very nice RAM. Neat packaging and solid product from Kingston. Okay, next we'll go with the Corsair power supply. Since again I've chosen different power supply than the last time. Eco-friendly packaging, very nice Corsair. Also cheap, so the price of the power supply will be lower that way. Okay, warranty and guides, the usual things. Safety information. Next we have some cable ties, very nice. And you have a power cable. I wasn't sure it will be included, but it is. Nice touch. And the power supply itself, nothing else in the box as you see there. Okay. I'll try to run quickly through this. Now, you should have one motherboard, one CPU, 4+4 pin cable, 8-pin 6+2 pin PCI Express, 4 SATA connectors, 4 Molex connectors for whatever you need them, fans and such, 1 floppy connector could also be used for internal sound cards, like some of the Sonos series. You can find unboxing in one of my videos as well. And then you obviously have a ultra quiet fan and fully sleeved cables. Very nice for budget power supply. There we go. Now the only thing, it's obviously non-modular. There we go, we have a button as usual. So you actually get what you pay for. Nice and easy. 3 years warranty on that as well actually, which is quite reassuring. So there we go, our 8-pin motherboard. Then we have the usual old type Molex connectors, the floppy connector, motherboard connector, and PCI Express 6+2. Then for your SATA drives, and same here again for your SATA drives. So that's about that. I'll just move it away for a moment. Motherboard, very briefly, you have a crossfire support on this motherboard. You have a 22nm CPU ready, so Ivy Bridge when it comes out in April. Z68 chipset, obviously, LJ1155 support. This is pretty obvious. Smart response technology, and with Virtu, should I get the external, dedicated graphics card. Then you have the power saving and overclocking features. You have UEFI BIOS, USB 3.0 and PCI Express 3.0 ready again. It says there, full PCI 3 performance requires a 22nm CPU or Ivy Bridge. That's from the power supply. So motherboard, try to take it out quickly. SATA cables, motherboard itself, nothing amazing really, but what I did like is there's your multi-channel audio, USB 3.0, LAN and all that, but more importantly you have 3 outputs there for the display, so you can select either the VGA, DVI or HDMI, and then USB 2.0 and the classic thingy there. That's about it, nothing fancy. Solid enough motherboard. Now the only thing is it does support Crossfire, but it would not support SLI. You have IO Shield included, which is not the easiest one to put on, I must say. Try to exclude that from this video because it takes ages otherwise. Here your ASUS badge, install CD, but you should again use the most recent drivers from ASUS website and manuals and stuff like that. Okay, and we're down to the last component, which is CPU. Again, the case can be found, unboxing of the NZXT Gamma case can be found in my other videos. Intel, same again, manual sticker, box, and the CPU itself. I'll be going with the standard Intel cooler this time to keep it on the budget. And you have the Core i3 CPU. So, the usual things there. Now, first things first, we'll try to set up the bench here so we can test our equipment before putting everything in the case. Otherwise, all this time spent putting all the components in the case can be just wasted if the setup doesn't work, if there's any issues with motherboards, if it's dead on arrival or anything like that. Now we will need that as well. There we go. Again, this is not an ideal scenario, but it'll be good enough to test if our components are working properly. So you remove the plastic holder there, and we'll place the CPU first. There we go, our Sandybridge CPU. You align the 2 cutouts on the sides, the 2 things on the motherboards pointing in. Simply drop it like that, close it, and pop it like so. Try to position your fan so you could connect to the CPU fan socket there. My CPU fans are there. Connections, I'll probably go like so. Now you just check first the thermal paste is applied in this case, and we just align the fan and we simply push it in. Okay, so that's secure. Now we just connect the fan. Okay, I'll just ground myself quickly there again, just in case, because I'll be handling RAM again. So for the dual channel RAM, you should use the blue slots on this particular motherboard. Sorry, I'm a bit clumsy today for some reason. Now after this I'm gonna cut the video short and I'm gonna go installing everything in the case. Once everything is done, I'm gonna show it to you. Everything is running, and there we go again. On, LED on, power on. Again, everything seems to be running okay. Nice and quiet. Happy enough. Okay, now let's see if we can simply switch off like that. Now just before I continue putting everything in the case, I just want to show the I/O shield and how did I place it on the motherboard. It's not the best I/O shield. It's actually very hard to place out of the box. What I've done is I bent these pins a little bit up. They're quite easy to bend, and so these and these little ones too. And when you're placing, just make sure that these pins go above the actual component. Now, since I presume our shield is already ready for installation, I'm gonna go and take plan B and simply install it in the case, and then take over the motherboard. Oh, these cables everywhere, and with a little bit of help I try to place it over there and make sure once again that all these little pins go on top of your outputs, and that seems to be okay. Standoffs all in place. So ground, I can continue with installation of the motherboard. And we are back. So we got our screws for the motherboard. There we go. Okay, now back to my screwdriver, so I'm going to use the smaller one. Just going to go around my setup. Just nice and easy. We're going to tighten them up. Next, okay, we can install maybe power supply. There won't be any DVD drive, as I mentioned before. I've chosen to go with the external one for the Windows installation and things like that. Our current motherboards and current BIOSes are well capable of handling boot from the external USB devices, so that won't be a problem. And that's actually a faster boot up times as well, since it doesn't have to initialize itself. Just skips the whole CD madness. Now I'll be actually putting the SSD on the bracket over here, and we're back. The SSD is now mounted with 4 screws provided with the drive itself. Again, you can see the unboxing video in my other uploaded videos. I'm going to just place it in. Now, not to affect airflow too much, I'm actually going to install it the very bottom over there. There we go. Nice and tight. That's our power supply. Now that's where it's taken the air in from, sorry guys, and that's where the air would be blown out from. So I'm going to be placing it like that, air in, air out. Okay, we have a nice filter here on the bottom of this case, so that will prevent any dust gathering in the power supply, or too much dust I should say, because dust will be still coming in. And that's it. That's how we put it in. I'm going to secure it with 4 screws. Apologies everyone, just a quick fix. I will actually use the screws from the power supply. Corsair was kind enough to include black screws for the black case, so they wouldn't be shining from the mile away. Exactly the same screw, just all painted black. Very nice. There's one thing I didn't expect. Unless my anti-gamer series power supply, which was only 10 or 15 euro dearer, this one has a shorter cable for the motherboard connection, and hence if I to plug it in, I'm not able to properly route it like so, which I have done with the Antic one. So what I'll be doing is I actually have to remove the motherboard screws. I'll be trying to route that cable through here. There's an opening there in the case, and through the opening here there's an opening as well in between the motherboard and the case, and finish up there. We'll see how it goes. There we are back. Now the cables, all cables that I needed to connect are connected. I actually did manage to route that cable through the bottom there, through the upper part there. Now this is actually quite free. I thought it'd be locked there behind the motherboard, but it's not too bad. Same there. Well, it's a bit tight because the case is lying on all the cables. Sorry guys. There's a SATA cable that connects to my SSD drive. I routed it through there, through the first opening. Then went the power cable. There it is. And this is the power cable for the hard drive. At the moment it's over there. Now, there we go. So this is your cable that went through the top of the motherboard. That's into core pins. And through the bottom, as you see, nice and free. Same there, no problem at all. That's your 24-pin motherboard connector, and the power cable along with the SATA drive cable. So there you go, that's all we have. 2 cables for hard drive, 1 cable for the motherboard, and another cable for the motherboard. So pretty neat. Not too much cable management to do in this setup. And welcome back. So this is my cable management done. These are all my extra cables that I didn't need, such as PCI Express cable and Molex cables and such. They all tucked away under the hard drive bay over there. the cable there for the 8-pin motherboard connector that I showed you guys before. Just went there. I've also connected the rear exhaust fan and the front fan. Actually, I did swap these around because CPU is on the right. I had it connected on the left. It still works, but that's more technically correct. Especially if you're monitoring from Windows, that'll be labeled as CPU fan. That'll be as a chassis fan 2 and chassis fan 1. Pity there's no fan connectors anyway here. Be short distance away, sorry, from the front, but just not the case. These are all my front panel connectors, connected there and tucked away here. And my USB. I did have to replace the angle bit here and put it over there. The reason being is with a straight one I didn't have enough room to put on the panel on the back. So there we go. This is your 16-pin cable for the motherboard, or sorry, is it 24-pin? This is the cable that's tucked away there. It just goes down there, secured over here, and goes back into the power supply. And these are all the extra cables over there. That's what I mentioned to you guys with the angle cable. With a straight, it'd be sticking out too far and I'd have problems putting on the case cover. And this is the power cable. It just goes there in the corner. No need to secure with cable ties. And this is the fan extension, because that's where the cable is over. It's actually meant to connect to this part of the motherboard, but there's nothing here, so I had to go over there through the top and connect it to there with my CPU connection. And that's it. And this is the infamous IO shield and the power supply with black screws. Okay guys, we're back now, and this is the first attempt to start up this rig. See how it goes. Here we go. I'm sorry guys for the absolutely tiny display. This is my monitor from my old setup. Actually works perfectly fine, so I didn't see the need to change it just yet. After all, this is a budget config. So there we go. CPU there, memory there. Now it can go up to 1600 megahertz. We'll adjust that later. And we have temperature of 26, room temperature I suppose 16 according to the motherboard reading, although I doubt that's the case. Voltage seems to be reasonably okay. And there we go, we have CPU fan and power fan. And our Intel drive should be here. Oh, didn't put any batteries in the mouse, too bad. So that's it guys, the setup is up and running. That requires a little bit of noise from the NZXT exhaust fan. Not much from the power supply or the front fan. Lights up very nicely. It's a very nice case actually, although it's a budget case. It has all the accessories needed. I'm going to put on the side panel, show you guys how it all looks with the side panel on. And there we go. So that's it guys, thanks a lot for watching. I hope that helped you out a bit, or maybe cleared out some thoughts about whether or not to buy a budget PC. I am quite happy with this config and it will do me for quite a while, at least until a new NVIDIA 600 series are out in April, we hope. So that's it guys. As always, leave some comments below. Please click like or don't like video. If you don't like, I'd really would like to know why you didn't like the video. How could I improve maybe? And thanks for watching, and I hope I'll upload some more videos when I'll be upgrading this rig. And thanks again. Have a good day.